7 Spiritual Transit Podcast. From Canada, my name is Jackie. I'm an energy healer. And all the way from Australia, my counterpart, Jay, he is an author, mentor, as well as a holistic energy coach with over 27 years experience working and mentoring people through their shadow persona. Today's topic is a big one. The first question we have is like a 3-parter. So what I thought is I'll mention it and give you kind of the window to get into this story, because it's going to be a bit of a bigger one.
Right, yeah, cool.
Self-hypnosis, and the question really is have you tried it? What did you use it for? Did it work? And what's your impressions? It's a pretty big
That is a huge one. Have you done self-hypnosis yourself, Jack, at all?
I have. Mine is a little bit of a different, I would say, story than probably most people, but I thought I'd let you start.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's funny enough, a couple of days ago I tried some self-hypnosis. Now what I usually do is, what I've been doing recently, especially the last 6 months since we started this podcast, is on the internet at night, I grab a meditation, put it on at night. It really plays, since we've been ascending spiritually, they have really affected me positively. Now, a couple of times, last week I decided to look at my insecurities. So what it was when I was going through my spiritual awakening and talking about my insecurity, which is basically insecurity with people, not being myself, insecurities within me, and people, judging me and all that. So you have that from a young inner child side of things. So it was a repeating cycle. So what I decided to do was find a meditation, and oh my God. So basically I put this thing on and had this vision of me at this place. It looked like Werribee, Victoria, Australia. And I was basically at a friend's place. Suddenly I was running around starkers, trying to hide. So yeah, and wasn't anything rude or anything like that. Yeah, I could say starkers naked, there you go. Okay, but you can see the awakening process of it is exposing yourself to the world. Now, exposing means don't go down the wrong path. It's actually being you. And that's what happened. Because in the end, I just basically said, okay, I found some clothes and put it on, but I walked around with a towel around this city looking to get home. So, and someone actually said, would you like some help? Okay, 2 people. So the message between that was, going deep inside my soul, was be yourself, do what you got to do. The messages come through, do what you got to do to be you. Express yourself, don't hurt anybody. Practice samadhi, which is basically sitting in balance, not having as much of an opinion or using your ego or the ego influence opinions, and become a better person. But trust yourself and be you. So it was an interesting one. It was like I had a vision of having it's that strong, I can remember it. So when you're getting dreams and visions and you can still remember it a couple of days later, it's a secret message.
So do you find that you do a hypnosis and the effects are immediate?
Well, I'd have to say something was there. I think that the immediate response is basically saying, rightio, I'll take the first step. And that's what's happened. So it's telling you to do that and trust yourself. What would happen is to get to the point of doing a little bit of a hypnosis, even if it's over the internet, you've actually got a calling to do it. So this is a lesson and a learning, which is amazing. So pretty much what would happen is you do that, you get led to do it because of a reason. And then suddenly afterwards, the effects would come up. So that's your message. So you take that message and put it within your life. And I've found that, yes, I've definitely been more myself and more authentic in a lot of ways, and just being what I need to be, and trusting that inner judgment. Whatever happens is meant to happen. Going with the flow. Universal law. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, so I mean, to answer that question for myself, I have tried self-hypnosis on numerous different occasions for numerous different items I wanted to tackle within my life. I don't believe that I can be hypnotized in a way that is the common, eating an onion as if it was an apple. I'll know what it is. And something happened to me as a child where I do not allow myself to ever lose awareness of where I am. It doesn't matter how drunk I get. It doesn't matter how high I used to get when I was a drug addict. I always was very aware of what was going on. If I was paranoid, I was very aware that the paranoia came from drugs and it was a side effect of the drugs. That awareness was always there. So the self-hypnosis, it was more about repetitive behaviors to change my process. And it was something I had to continue to do day after day after day. So I most recently would be quitting smoking. I had to convince myself I don't want to smoke anymore because I like cigarettes. It's a good thing for me. I love cigarettes. I had to, and I would say it to myself 1,000 times a day, I'm not a smoker. I do not smoke. I am not a smoker. I do not want to smoke. Yep. Even when I was still smoking, I'm saying this into my head until finally I believed it. And it took a long time. I started quitting smoking in May, and I've officially quit for 10 days now.
Oh, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. And the difference is I'm not avoiding cigarettes. I do not actually want it. So I have trained my brain to get out of that state of cigarette addiction. That's the difference, because the hard time for me was smoking, and I'm just quit smoking to not smoke, and I'm thinking about it 24 hours a day. I don't want to be in that state. That's worse. Might as well just smoke.
Yep, I understand. So what I would say to that is, would you, like, we've all been through addictions and stuff like that, but also it's anything that you have been talked about when you go through your awakening process that come up, and you're doing things to actually come through. So you're talking about your smoking. I'm talking about I used to have a food addiction. Now they go, sugar addiction, not enough sweetness in your life. Food addiction. Now, it's amazing. I only recently worked out that the taste for about 20 seconds, that's all I wanted, the hit. It's amazing. It's like having a hit in some ways, you know what I mean? But what's the real reason you need that little bit of joy? Because you don't have joy within yourself. And that's huge. That is absolutely huge. So have you used self-hypnosis yourself again, Jack, at all?
I use it all the time, and I use it for everything. It is how I reprogram my mind, and it's a repetitive behavior that is taking over old repetitive behaviors. In my mind, everything became a habit because I continued to do it the exact same way over and over again. If that's true for all the bad behaviors I created, that is also true for all the new positive behaviors I am creating.
Yep.
That's how I do it. I can't tell you there's one time I did a hypnosis and woke up and didn't want a cigarette. That didn't happen. It was a gradual process over time with continued repetitive behaviors. And that's how it worked for me. And I like to call it brainwashing myself to believe. And it did start at one point with my confidence. And if you went back to my YouTube from 2 years ago, you would see me. I would be sitting there telling myself, you're confident, you're strong, you're successful, you're worthy of love, you're worthy of support. And it gradually changed into other things as I got new habits.
Can I ask you, Jack, on that one? Did you feel like I go through like the life, you got a degree in life, right? In our lives. Do you feel like, I know I used to do the I am grateful for when I first sort of started this true spiritual awakening process. Do you feel like you were reprogramming yourself through writing, through the self-hypnosis that you did?
Yeah, 100%.
And it was a process, it was a process now? Yeah.
Change the affirmations based on what I need going forward, but that is something I do nonstop, for 2 years straight, because that's the way I stopped telling myself I'm stupid, or I'm not good enough, or I need outside validation for myself. Yep. I had to retrain all of those negative thoughts with positive ones. And the only way it worked for me is through repetition.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I only just thought about doing the self-hypnosis. So if you want to do that, ladies and gentlemen, just jump on. You can jump on YouTube to start with. I mean, as I said, do that first. There's a couple of ones. One that goes overnight. One that goes over. I apologise, I don't have the details on it, but I've got about 15 of them now because we look at it. We've got different times. There's ones that are 10-minute long. There's ones that are 20 minutes. So just jump on that. Maybe when you go to sleep, because you're in that state, so you can actually go through and see and write it down. Write down what happens if you can't remember what's going on. But it always has a point where it's a deep-seated, issue of yours, a deep-seated issue that you might have. With mine was insecurity, talking to people, exposing myself to people, stepping forward, being myself, being rejected, all that kind of crap that happened when I was younger, and that is my core problem, and I've noticed that. So, but we are getting out of there. I'm sticking my head on this. This is awesome. I've got a good partner there too. So I mean, it's always good to have great friends that encourage you every single day.
And I was going to also say, at nighttime, if you take 3 breaths, get to your center, and then set that intention before you go to bed, and it does, it programs it at your alpha level, which is 10 times more likely to be followed through when you program something at that level, like that right before sleep type level. So it's really powerful to do it at night. And
yes.
There's, like Jay said, so many on YouTube. You can create your own.
It's actually good to create. You can create your own. It's a.
I think it's specific to me.
Yeah, I've got one. I've actually got a prayer there as well. You can make your own prayers, which I'll send you, Jack. I fixed that up for us last night. Just quick plug, guys. I'm a self-promoter like DDP, Diamond Dallas Page. He's taught me well. We will have a new YouTube channel coming out with the 11 Level Spiritual Transit podcast. This will have all our episodes, plus we will have some prayers and some self-healing videos on there talking about the Akashic records. Okay, I'll be doing ones on the shadow work. There'll be a lot of information to go to. We're very excited to launch that in the next couple of weeks. So just thought I'd let you know if you are interested in looking at all this stuff. We might even put some playlists up there. There'll be playlists with the self-hypnosis stuff that we recommend, or we can put a recommendation from our channels.
Exactly, and a lot of the stuff, and I'll tell you, friends, I don't do anything I have to pay for. So I found all of the amazing stuff that I use to better myself free on YouTube. And you can do the same. There's no point in paying exorbitant amount of money unless you're looking for something really specific to you.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a case of we all do this stuff. Everyone goes, you value what you do. But the thing is with everything, like I just did a course with Tony Robbins and Jane Graziosi, which is really good about getting your mindset into a mindset of productivity and success. And it was 5 days. I mean, I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock. But the mindset I've got now, which was great, I'm hoping to do a course with him next year. So it's actually moving into those those small things. Everyone wants information, and the information, you'll find out what you're being guided to do. So you can find out, I want to find about the Akashic records. I'll go and see Jackie. Or, I'm really interested in working with the shadow self. Oh, Jay does that, right. So I can really get into it. So you're looking for specific things. People go and pay money for everything, looking for the answer, trying to pay for the answer. The answer's within you, and that's what we're trying to do on this one. We're talking about our self-hypnosis today. So it's something to that degree where you can get the information, then you can move on.
Yeah, agreed.
Have we got a two-parter there, Jack? What's the next part of that question?
I do have another question, but it is not on self-hypnosis. So
that's okay.
Is there anything more we want to touch on that before we move to this question?
I'm quite happy with that. We'll try. I'll have a look at some links and stuff. And when we launch the channel, we'll put some videos. As I said, I'm just finding some videos now. I'll make a playlist and I'll share the playlist, and we'll see what we can do. As I said, we're novices in this stuff because we've got so many channels. We're trying to universally put one on one channel. We'll see how we go from there.
Well, so I had a question from a gentleman from Calgary who saw that we had
His name's
mentioned...
not Bret Hart, is it?
Yeah, we saw that we mentioned Bret Hart, and he wants to know why he is a mentor or a hero to you.
Okay, oh, really? Okay, cool. Well, basically, I think what he stood for in the professional wrestling circuit, he was a person that had integrity, honesty. He loved what he did. He was passionate about the actual sport of professional wrestling, and I think that comes down to your core values and what kind of person he is. His integrity of what he does. He speaks what he speaks, and he does, and he walks the walk and talks the talk. You can see him in the ring. The way with pro wrestling guys, you still got to look after each other. You see the way that people talk about him, the way he looked after others, the way he mentored others. He had so much skill with regards to what he did. And look, he looked cool. I mean, have a look. I'm wearing his t-shirt. But I think I just attracted to him because what he said was be the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Have a think about that. That's a good affirmation to have. And I'm thinking that back in 1986 when he was in the Battle Royal with Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 2 in Los Angeles, look out, I'm an encyclopedia of old wrestling. He saw that, and then he got his pink and black, and he started developing the person that he is. And it's very funny that you do that as a performer, but also you can do it as a person. So I wouldn't be the person that I am, looking at, understanding what the morals and the values that he brought as a wrestler, but you can bring into your life. So that's why I love Bret Hart, and I've met him a couple of times. And Bret, if you're listening to this, man, love to come down to Calgary and say hello. And you've changed a lot of people's lives, mate. So especially down here in Australia. What about you, Jack?
Well, I guess for me, when he asked that question, I would say he's not a hero or mentor to me, but he was my favorite wrestler growing up, and he does a lot of advocacy with youth in Calgary and as well as in Manitoba. And I do know that. So I don't know enough about him personally to say he's a stand-up guy in real life, but exactly from the way he held himself in the ring and the way he left the WWF at that time.
Let's talk about that one night.
I mean, that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he really just was something that was interesting that my friend from Australia shared the same affiliation for this wrestler, and that was kind of a talking point for us. So that was really what my side, it's like that. My kids are obsessed with wrestling still. I've kind of tried to get away from it, but it seems like everybody I know loves wrestling. So
yeah.
I'm for life. I'm in. That's my guy.
It's funny though, if you look at him now, we look at this. This is where it might come into a little bit of a spiritual side of things. His partner, now his current partner, if you see them, she absolutely adores him. Now they're about, excuse me, Bret, if I get this wrong, I think they're about, I'd say there'd be 20 years difference, right? But we look at the spiritual part of things, and it's funny that you're given these messages. I look at when she looks at him in the eyes, man, you got to say it's just exactly what everyone wants. Whether it's a man or a woman, they want someone to look at them in the eye and go, you are it. I know a lot of people. I've got a lot of close friends. I haven't had the best of luck with regards to that, but I do want that. I'll be honest with you. I'm happy to give it. I need someone to give it back. But truly and purely, that's where Bret comes in with his integrity, his honesty, his humility. But he has that. I saw it, and it's not, and you can't fake it, eh? So
when you're a couple that you can just tell they're so in love with each other, yeah, you can't fake connection or energy like that. Sometimes I can spot them in a bar. Sometimes I'm just like, man.
Yeah, exactly. You can spot. It's really funny. You can spot them in a bar, and you can spot people like I could actually say I picked it. There's two people I know, and I picked it about a year ago. I'm going, hang on a minute. There's something going on here. But it was on an energetical level, and I wasn't really as connected in as what I say. I'll say powerful, ladies and gentlemen, is what I am, gaining into my power. Suddenly, a couple of days ago, I go, guess what? I knew it. I bloody knew it. I go, I knew this 12 months ago. What? What are you talking about? And he goes, what, were we that obvious? I go, no. I just go, it was the energy together. I could just pick it. I just feel, I go, hang on, that's a good energy. Like two souls coming together, whether it's soulmate connection, karmic connection, whatever it may be, it happened. So there, I'm actually sitting there going, I'm quite chuffed with myself. There you go.
Well, that's great.
So yeah, so there you go. So we've got the third, is that the second question there, Jack?
Because the first one was it was like a 4-parter, because I really
Go
just wanted
for
to
it.
get in. So that is what I have today, unless you had something else.
No, that's fine. So that one there. So we've basically given an overview, guys. With regards to what we've looked at, both of us are basically ascending at a very, very rapid rate. Now, the ascension process meaning your spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening is when you have that moment in your life where everything breaks down. We'll make it quick. I'll make it really quick. And then you're trying to find yourself. You go through. I went through anxiety and all those kind of things. But I found myself trying to rebuild and heal the wounds of going from there. But then we start doing some investigating, and that will give you a lead into jumping on YouTube. Look, people go, don't look at tarot readings. That's bullshit. Go and look at them. Who cares? All right? It's a case of the influence of looking for answers. And if you're really guided, you'll be guided to where you have to go. We've got some, what was that, sorry?
People don't listen to them.
No,
well,
it's not a case of listening, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever wrote that, no problem, I understand. But it's up to you what you do. It's your freedom of choice. And this is where you come into a samadhi mindset, where you let people do what they've got to do and just guide them. Okay? Some people need that in their life. Some people do need it. That could be the next step to where they're going to get in life. I know I needed it at that time. But then you get to a point where you can sort of find your own purpose. Then people have experiences within their life. I'll give an example. I don't know if you know the Wiggles. Greg Page from the Wiggles, he had a heart attack, but guess what? The positive out of that is that he's the ambassador for CPR. Okay, cardiac pulmonary resuscitation. He goes around and saying this is how important it is to have. So there's different things that happen in life, whether it be a tarot reading, whether it be an experience, a near-death experience, maybe a death of a person, maybe it was a job that you had, maybe it was an experience you had with someone else. All these things come in for you to move, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to look at it and say, this is the experience where it's going to move me. The self-hypnosis, I go, okay, I've been hypnotized before, but someone told me to do it. What do you think about that, Jack?
What do you mean about somebody?
So what do you think about just taking the journey and taking things as they come?
Oh, of course. I am a strong believer of everything happening for a reason, and everybody has 1,000 ways that they healed themselves. Not all those ways are going to work for you. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Figure out how to take what somebody says from their story or their experience and shift it to make it work for you.
Yes.
And personal journey, so it can't be the same. If you
That's
learn
exactly right.
conscious sense of self-awareness, you will understand what you need to do in order to heal yourself. I guarantee
let's be honest, we wouldn't be doing this podcast if it wasn't for the journey that we had, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, I watched tarot. Yeah. Okay. So be it. There you go. I said it. Okay. I watched it. I did this. I do other things, like I look at, I listen to Native American music. I love it. I think it's very calming. But and I have a Native American healer, Red Horse. I want to do a big shout out to you, mate. You've been wonderful. I'm meeting you in 2016. You're a wonderful mentor to me. Thanks so much for everything you do for me. If you want to get onto Native American Productions, go and look at him. He's just done he does such good things in Victoria, Australia here anyway, but he's also online. But you can see the journey you go on, guys. It's just, this is where you got to practice. You got your opinion, that's fine, but it could be something that, people say, I eat 10 pieces of chocolate a day. Okay, fine. They've got a reason to do it. Okay? So this is where you practice samadhi and just accept, get the ego out. Try and delete the ego as much as you can. Believe me, it's hard, I'm telling you. Okay, that's another one we can watch. We can put that video up there too. And the other one I want to quickly recommend is The Shift. I think we've watched that too, and we might do a review on that, Jack. We might watch it and review it. What do you think?
I don't like the guy's voice. Who
Who,
narrates? Not a,
who's that?
Not a one for me.
You talking about the Wayne Dyer one?
I like the Samadhi one, but I'm really particular on people's voices, and if it's not the right voice, unfortunately, I
That's
can't
fair
listen
enough.
to it.
So you talk about The Shift there, are you?
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
That's fair enough. Well, what we can do is I can write some notes down, and we can talk about some of the more spiritual stuff that I get a lot of lessons from it anyway. We can write about that, no problem at all. But this is the thing, guys. See this? You got to accept people for what they are. That's exactly what we're doing right now. You just saw it right there, and that's what you got to do. I mean, I'm still learning that today. I'm no bloody expert, you know. So, and if it wasn't for this lady before me, I've been dealing with animal spirit cards, and it's been in my face for decades. If it wasn't for her going, get a reading going, I wouldn't be as connected what I am and doing some research into and really enjoying what I'm doing. You know, especially the kangaroos. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, kangaroos, they do live in my backyard. I'll take photos and prove it. Everyone overseas reckons kangaroos jump down my street. I can physically tell you, absolutely they do. I can walk up the road and go and see about 30, 40 kangaroos, no problem. But they as an animal medicine, just quickly, they show about abundance. They tell you about you're on the right path. They're a very calming animal because they're very grounded all the time, and you're on the right path and trust yourself. That's a basic overview.
Love that. Interesting. Well, we don't have any kangaroos where I live, unfortunately, but I'm always very aware these days, since connecting with you, paying attention to these animals that do cross my path, and it really has opened up my awareness, I guess, to other messages from the divine.
Have you looked into that, Jack? What? Give me an animal. What animal and what message did you get?
Well, no,
Tell
the
them.
other day when I told you about that bird that was on the windowsill at work,
Yes.
and then the crow flew in and just scooped it up and took it away. And you know, normally I wouldn't think that meant anything, but you had happened to see a crow that day and mentioned it, and it just was weird how it was signified something that we both saw in one day from halfway across the world. It was just weird.
We have synchronicities, don't we? We have a lot of synchronicities, don't we?
It is. So I can't help but find coincidences all around me, and I don't believe in coincidences, so I just think it's another smile from the universe and a push forward.
Absolutely. So the crow is basically the guide that takes the spirits to the next world. So if you watch that stuff, when you watch the Brandon Lee Crow show movie, that's basically based upon a spiritual, basically a spiritual method, as we want to put it that way. So I'm just, a bit early in the morning. So basically the crow guides the spirits to the next life. That's what they say. So that's what it was based upon. That show was, that's still a show I can watch and go, wow, you know. So but anyway, all good. But so basically, that'll be, I think we'll call it a day today. But thanks so much for everyone for coming on. If you want to jump onto Jackie's, we've got a free monthly meeting. You want to tell a little bit about that, because apparently you've got a special guest coming on.
You head over to my Facebook page, also named Akashic Energy Healing. Our monthly meeting on September 2nd is going to be hosted by my good friend Jay. We're going to be getting into the shadow persona. We're going to get a little bit of tips from Jay as to how we can introduce ourselves to our shadow, get a little bit connected to some of the challenges we might face when we start to deal with it. And of course, there's always a nice free giveaway for anybody who is on the call. So hopefully you guys can all come. The link is in the Facebook group, Akashic Energy Healing. Just go from my website to my Facebook group.
We'll have that on the end of this video. What will happen, guys? We will be launching the channel very, very soon. We'll give it another week or so. We're just getting things sorted, so we do apologize for the delay, but we want people to have a look and see what's going on. We will have that going, but you can jump on Words of the Warrior on TikTok up here, always chucking up videos about my thoughts. I used to write down I am, I will, I'm grateful for, but I'm expressing them now because the universe has said you've got to say what you've got to say. So there's a lot of stuff coming up there. Also, you can jump on Journey by Whitefeather. That's on Facebook and also Instagram. We've got that, and the YouTube channel, which is basically my thoughts and my opinions of what's happening within my life. Okay, I've made a lot of videos on that. You can check those out. And also, of course, it's the 1111 Spiritual Podcast with my tag team partner here from the Heart Foundation, Jackie, and myself. We'll be basically getting that. We'll be getting a lot of stuff up with regards to our podcast, but also some reference material for you all. So we look forward to working with that in the next couple of weeks. Jack, it's been a pleasure as usual. No worries. Well, you guys, everyone take care, be your best self, and remember what Brett always used to say. Get up in the morning, as I'm doing in the morning, walking on the treadmill. Be the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. You guys take care, have a great day, and much love to you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon.